And we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiskey Charlie, the War Game Chat, our monthly show on YouTube. I'm your host, Mo from Mo's Game Table, and joining me are my two esteemed co-hosts, everybody's favorite gimp with the limp, the TheGimpyGamer, Nate Rogers. How's it going, Nate?
It's another glorious day in the core. And I just want to say, Kev looked like the stereotypical cartoon bad guy as the show started. Like I expected him to have like a cat in a metal hand as he was spinning around in his chair there.
There you
Yeah.
go. And the Wargaming Wizard from Oz, Kev Sharp from the big board. How's it going, Kev?
Oh, it's just most fabulously.
And look at that. Kev's been enjoying your
Right off
stacking
the
limit
bat.
said you've been enjoying your
Boom,
work,
here we
saving
go.
300 bucks.
Here we go. Let's play, boys.
And Joe is in the house. Look at Joe's going to join us
Good
too.
job.
Yeah, I missed out on the Case Blue giveaway last night, but I've been, as you may be able to tell, I've been battling a cold. Went on a trip last week, and for the first time ever in my entire life, it was a vacation for our anniversary and for Linda's birthday. And
Oh, I thought it was your coming out party.
no, and I ended up getting sick on the way out, and was sick on vacation. And then Linda got sick, so it's like she's still sick. So I was like, oof. So it's been a rough week, even with the trip. It was a rough week.
Nah, sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah, so we went to Charleston, South Carolina, and we saw the Yorktown and the Laffey. Went there to that museum. Went to the Charlestown Museum, saw a bunch of other sites and stuff like that. And of course, it was not just us, but it was another couple that Linda is friends with. That a girl she grew up with. They were coming in from Tennessee, so we just hung out together the whole time. And the girls, of course, wanted to go shopping a lot, so they did a lot of that. And me and the other husband, just kind of hung out and like, oh well,
You like wife swapping stuff or like what?
no, none of that.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Were
I
they
don't think either one of us would want to do that.
were they actual friends of yours, or was that like that forced friend hangout that wives like to do, where they get together and they make the husbands play, thinking the world?
No. She was Linda's maid of honor in our wedding, and she's known her since she's like, I don't know, 8 years old or something. So known her whole life. So and I've known her for like 30 years. So it was nice to see them catch up with them, because they had moved he retired a couple of years ago, and they moved from New Jersey to Tennessee, and now they're living there. And when they've been going all over the place with him being retired, and they just said, hey, let's go to Charleston, South Carolina. And I was really hoping in Charleston there'd be a lot more pirate history, but I didn't see much. I was kind of bummed.
We're thinking about moving to South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hot and muggy,
Well, we found out
as you may
that's-
remember.
Dude, it's hot and muggy here now.
Is it really?
It's
Why would you move?
tax reasons. We found out South Carolina is another one of those states where we wouldn't have to pay a house tax, and that's just such a big savings.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean like property tax because you're a vet?
Yeah.
Well,
So
awesome. Go do
So
it.
you don't have to pay property. So do you pay them now in North Carolina?
we get a small discount, like 10% off of
Yeah.
it, but evidently some local politicians have been pushing to have that put through, but they won't, because so many big military bases are here. We got Bragg, we've got Cherry Point, we've got Camp Lejeune, there's a few Air Force bases around us, and because of that, a lot of military guys settle in this area, and they don't want to lose all that income. So we'll just have to leave and give our taxes to another state.
So
He didn't like it,
he didn't like it,
but then he says he great
but
job.
it was a great job.
I'm confused.
What
Oh, I did like it.
Oh, he did like it. Okay, hold on. That one. Nice.
Oh, on Facebook, I missed that.
No housing tax for
No,
vets.
hell no. We'll not go to Virginia. I go
Virginia?
south, or I'll go to the Midwest. I'm not going any farther north than I am now. That ain't gonna happen. Shit just gets worse as you go north.
In South Carolina, they give you no property tax because being a disabled vet.
Yes, yeah, you got to
Yeah.
have a 100% rating to get that.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get it everywhere. I know South Carolina does it, Florida does it, Arkansas does it, and there's
Nice.
a handful of other states.
Nice.
But we won't go to Florida because we don't want to die.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Florida anyway with the increased insurance costs and everything else, and it's very hard to get housing insurance now in Florida, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah, global warming, man. It's gonna ruin everything.
Homes available,
Well, Florida man lives in Florida.
hence why he's called Florida.
I wouldn't mind
Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Rico. I'd go Puerto Rico.
They have all kinds of taxes. You can move to New Jersey; they got a shit ton of taxes.
Yeah.
My
And
entire neighborhood.
wait till you see property taxes there.
Dude, I'm telling you, we live in North Carolina, and there in our little neighborhood here, there's 126 homes. 123 homes are New York and New Jersey former residents who have all
Mhm.
fled those states and come down here. And well, I won't get into the long. You already know that we talked about that before, but I'm just
Who
like,
wants to pay $15,000, $20,000 a year in property taxes on an average home?
yeah.
I mean, I'm not even talking multi-million-dollar homes or $1 million home. I'm talking about an average home.
Oh, but they all
You know,
say the
it's like
same thing. You know, taxes, crime, poverty, this all reasons.
corruption
All of
in
it.
New Jersey. Well, there's a reason why it's called the Soprano State.
Yeah, bad gun laws.
No, well, they don't. Yeah. Oh, you can't carry.
Yeah,
I'm out. See you, bye.
yeah, that
Yeah,
restricts
really.
the states.
So, that'll be interesting. And any other place other than South Carolina you're looking at?
Well, we've mentioned Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, you don't get to pick where we move
Property
to
taxes
based
are
on
high.
where your friends live.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Property
Yeah.
taxes are high here in Texas.
well,
So
Texas
that's
has some
something to
benefits,
keep in
but
mind.
I think one of the big things is the whole not paying property tax thing isn't in Texas, so that kind of
Yeah.
automatically rules it out.
How many states are there total that do that?
We're not entirely sure. It's hard to find this information. It's harder than it should be, but we're thinking it could be as many 20 states. But we're gonna, confirm it 100% before we move.
Yeah, definitely a pain.
It's just too much. And our property taxes have. I don't want to get off topic of war games, but in the few years we've
Oh,
lived in
it's
this
okay.
home,
It's okay. It's only been 10 minutes.
Hey, we're just getting started. Don't worry.
it's gone
This
up.
is tangent time, so it's okay.
But it's gone up by double. I mean, we pay double now what we used to pay in like 2020, and we can't afford that. Not at this rate. I mean, we're tapped out.
Right.
So much of it's
Yeah.
just getting put back just to pay property taxes, and we're like, we're
Has
paying a
property,
mortgage.
has the property gone up in value?
Yeah, but not that much.
Right.
3% increase on property value doesn't increase property taxes at 100%.
Mm.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, but homes were really skyrocketing during COVID and afterwards, and then they've kind of leveled off, which was the appraisal districts were loving that because they were like, oh yeah, we can keep jamming your property taxes up. We can jam your assessment up, which means more
Yeah,
property
keep
tax.
the same rate, but
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we're not increasing taxes.
We're not increasing taxes. We're just increasing how much money you give in taxes.
Yeah.
Because we're increasing the value of your home. It's like, well, you know what? I really think that if they're going to assess it at that, they should have it in writing to guarantee that your house will sell for at least that.
Yeah, otherwise they pay for it.
Otherwise, they pay the difference, and they would never do that.
what is the Case Blue giveaway that they're talking about? Who's giving that away last night?
I don't know.
Oh, that was Gary was doing it. Hardwolf. He was giving away a copy of Case Blue on his channel.
The OCS
And-
one.
Yes, and
Yeah, it's
he-
because there's a new version coming. So
so he gave a copy of that away, and I don't know who won it. Did anybody know who won that last night?
because you won't be able to sell it for what he paid. That's the bottom line.
Well, I mean, it's still got a value right now until the
Oh.
other one comes out.
Yeah. I mean, the more people know, I sold mine recently.
I mean, some of them you just want to hold on to. It's just a classic game. You can just hold on to it.
Oh, sure, but I mean,
So High Flyer won.
there's a replacement coming. So
Nice.
who knows?
Hey, Jeff?
Probably be around when that's out.
Yeah, I mean, we never know. But being we are talking about Case Blue, we can jump right into the topic, which is development. And I can say that when you look at the value of Case Blue, even though it's going to come down now because they're coming out with a new version of it, the value has obviously stayed high because, it's out of print. That obviously drives prices up, but
Mhm.
the development was there in that game and in that system. Dean had created several really great systems, and they've just been cornerstones of the hobby for years. And now you two have been working. I have not, thankfully, been involved in any of this, but you guys have been working on working your way through uh, a game that is not cheap and is rather pricey, but it has some development woes, shall we say, to say the least. Sounds more like an absence of development, but we'll let you guys talk about that a little bit more.
Kev, you want to go first, or
Fabulous game with huge potential.
okay? Okay, you going with the shit
I'll
sandwich
be,
approach?
I'll be, I'll be, I'll be having it up for sale very soon. You can find out for yourself how much potential it is.
Look, okay.
Go on, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gimpy's going to go first. First off, the title of the game and the publisher.
What is it? Case Blue? No, Armored Knights, Case Blue, Don Ben,
Mhm.
Grognard Simulations, and
Yep.
I almost. You ever have a girl ask you out on a date and you want to say no to her and you're kind of figuring out how to start that sentence? That's like where I'm at right now. Like, how do I start this sentence? There are some things to like there. So this the start of this shit sandwich. Now the
Mhm.
middle of the meaty shit part, this is gonna be rather robust. The rule book is just a walking cluster. We should not have guys, and I've mentioned this to Kevin Moe, we should not have guys with the level of experience that a lot of these guys have come into this game having the issues that they're having getting the rules figured out. It's just not clear. Nowhere near clear enough with what you're trying to do. And this is a large game. It's a six mapper. I don't remember how many counters are in it. Was it 7 counter sheets?
Yeah, I think so. Five or seven.
Somewhere,
Five
yeah.
or seven.
A lot of half-inch counters, so it's very robust. A lot of moving parts going on with this thing. And at first, when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, rulebook's like 27 pages. This is nothing. I'll have this knocked out, get it to the table. And I just couldn't do it. I kept having to ask questions like, how do I get this? What does this mean? What does this mean?
Oh yeah, you were asking a lot of questions
Yes.
in our
FYI,
chat.
if anyone ever
In
asks
our
you a
chat, yeah.
question and you want to give them an answer, the answer shouldn't be a picture with your finger pointing at it. That doesn't answer the question. I don't know who would
This
do
finger,
that. Just a thought.
It's right here.
I was just pointing. It's like this chart right here,
Yeah.
and that counter right there. I was just
See,
pointing to
I
it.
took it the other way. I took more like Kev just saying "fuck you" to the game.
Yeah.
I was just pointing to. I'm from Australia. We do that upside down. What can I say?
So one of the problems is that he uses shorthand in it, so he abbreviates everything. That's fine, but there's no glossary, right? And some of these terms are not ever spelled out in the rule book. I remember one of them specifically, and I'm going to cover this in the video that I'm going to do on it. The term MI. MI means mission intelligence. I had no clue that it meant that. None. It wasn't until I got to the separate
Counter information book.
counter information booklet that I was able to figure that out. And this is information I need to know because when you're referencing MI the whole way through, and I have no idea what you're referring to, this is a problem. There's the AQR, armor quality rating. I don't know where he finally spelled that out. That might be the same booklet. I kept running into that problem. And one of my big things that I always review war games on is that anyone, regardless of their level of experience, should be able to sit down, read your rulebook, and be able to play your game. If they can't do that, then your rulebook is not well written. And this rulebook can only be understood by those who have experience. Certain concepts just are not explained, like zones.
Experience with that system.
With this system.
Well, I mean, I think you need to be a war gamer.
Yeah.
You need to have a certain level of experience. for sure.
Uh,
You can't if you had just played Undaunted, right?
Mhm.
Normandy, with the African American dude on the front cover that wasn't there. But anyway,
yeah,
sorry. I
we
may be a little glib today because it's been a week, a complete shit show all week. But if you were trying to come from that game to this game, you would lose your mind, right?
yeah.
And you would be stupid to do that,
Yeah.
but you never know, right? But that's not the point. Gimpy's point is right? The rules should allow you to play the game.
And they don't, and I hate saying that because I like the premise of what the game's trying to accomplish, but
Mhm.
I already understand what a ground strike is, what a zone of control is, things like this. I understand it because I play a lot of war games, but at one point I was new. At one point it was my first war game, and every war game needs to be written with that in mind, with that perspective that it could be someone's first.
Yeah, but I would also disagree slightly to a point where if you're talking about something like this, most first-time wargamers are not gonna go out and drop $300 on a game. That's more of a study type of game, where you expect it to be more of a study type of game. So I agree with that the rules have to be written easy to understand, but I don't necessarily think they need to be written so easy that if it's your first war game, you're gonna, because most people are not going to dive into a $300 game, but for the first time. But here's one thing for the mission intelligence and all these other ones you were talking about. Rule of thumb when you're writing a rule book is always if you're gonna use a mnemonic or a shorthand or an abbreviation or whatever, you spell it out first. Mission intelligence in parentheses MI, so that way you know, or MI hereafter, so that way everybody knows when they see MI, that's what it
Yeah,
means. But
exactly.
it's explained to you the first time. Apparently, this guy
Yeah,
never did that.
Well, it's
he does that
inconsistently.
sometimes. He does do that sometimes, but he doesn't
It's
do it in the
inconsistent.
areas you would expect. Like supply battalion is spelled out once in the rule booklet, but it's only spelled out in an area you would not look for it.
Mm,
It
yeah.
is spelled out
It's under
in
counters.
sequence of play. Oh no, sequence of play, isn't it?
It was
Oh
on.
no, that's SOG is spelled out there. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out what SOD was, the start of day. Another one we got, simply setting it up was horrible because I had no clue what units I'm supposed to be using here. And one of the things it has next to it, it's like losses. So these are the units that you're putting out on the board, but not the entire unit's going to be put out. But it's like -1Y. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? -2B, -1R. And I'm like, is this algebra? Like, what is this? What is he trying to get across here? And
Yeah.
again, I had to ask Kev, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And he's like, oh, that means yellow, blue, red, because the units have that designation. Armor's yellow, infantry, for the most part, is blue. I forget what red is. Heavy weapons, I think.
Yeah, it's engineers and heavy weapons, AT guns, stuff like that.
Okay. But
Artillery.
that should be spelled out above this. Like,
Yeah.
Y means yellow, blue, B means blue, red means.
Look. I mean, I like the idea of this little booklet. It started out kind of cool, but that should have been in the rules. And then these examples in here, or there's these word salad examples of play. Look
Mhm.
at that.
But the
I
picture
mean,
doesn't line up with the example.
and there's more. I mean, that this should be a play example booklet and designer notes explaining his thinking, so that maybe you can glean what the freaking hell is going on, right?
Yeah. Look,
Anyway,
it's an Eastern Front game, so it's already going to be big. It's already going to have a lot of moving parts to it. That's fine. People are fine with that. They're fine with complex and deep. It's when the information isn't able to be articulated in such a way that you understand what's written. Like even just deploying the units, because I've got it set up. I finally got a scenario set up, and I'm gonna try play a little bit to show it. And there's lines here. There's lines. There's areas that are marked out roughly of where those units go, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put them in that area and just hope that it's good enough. because I'm not entirely sure. It took me a little bit just to figure out what the letters next to the units meant. And finally, after talking to Kev, I was like, okay, if that means colors, then this must mean experience, which I'm assuming I'm right on.
Yeah,
Veteran,
the green,
yeah.
the green number is the green alpha is experience. EVG line L.
But
Um,
we have
yeah,
here in this is the small scenario. It says supply points are not tracked in this scenario, but the supply point markers are on the map. And I'm like, okay, why? If we're not tracking supply points in this specific scenario, then why would the supply point markers be there?
Dave's here.
So I still don't understand that one. I don't understand what's
yeah,
going on with that. There's something with the
that's
bridge as
curious.
far as units that can move. Look, I was telling Mo about this the other day. Just to do a combat, one single combat action, right? So units attack units to make dead units. There is at a minimum 3 charts that you have to roll on, and more than likely it's going to be 4 because you're usually going to have some type of artillery or air support involved in there somewhere. But it could be as many as 5 different charts that you have to roll on, right? You've got the, what is that thing called? The experience thing, the
Proficiency table.
yeah, proficiency table. You got the proficiency table, you got the attackers table, you got the defenders table, and then you have the clustered
Yeah.
infantry table. I forget exactly what that one's called. Uh, that applies to artillery and
Then we've
close
got
air
the air
support.
mission table if you want. Yeah, we've got a roll on the air mission table.
Yeah, and if it's a full scale air mission, then you've got the flak table you got to roll on. You've got the weather table you got to roll on. So we're talking like how many chart? I don't 7, 8 different charts that you got to roll on, and it's like, what are we doing here? The attacker and defender table should have just been squished into one. That would have just removed that problem
Yeah,
out of
that's a
there.
design thing he does. He just does that because they have different results, right? So I get it, but and I actually kind of appreciate it, but it's 2 die rolls that you need to do. But you also the problem is this is just hugely dense, uh, poorly formatted. These things need to be spread out a little bit and organized by theme, combat, logistics, engineering,
Okay,
and
explain
on
this
their own
choice to me,
separate
Kev.
on separate pages. What's that?
It's one of the air tables there, right? The ones that you were at with air units, and I think it had to do with their supply, but I forget which. You know, all German air units have army level supply. All Russian air units have front level supply, and they
Right.
all get a -2 modifier. All German ones on that chart get a -2. All Russian ones get a -2. Why even have that modifier there? I get that it's probably for the campaign game that comes later, but instead of adding that extra modifier now, just take that out and you put
Change the table.
yeah,
Just change the table, right?
yeah, you
I
adjust
mean,
the table, remove the modifier, because if it's the same -2 modifier no matter what for every single aircraft, then it's not a modifier. It's just adjusting the table down 2 every single time.
yeah.
You get the point that I'm making there?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Okay. And
yeah.
I
Go
got to
ahead.
complete
Sorry.
my shit sandwich. The components aren't bad.
Yeah. I like the components but compared to what they were. The home printed 11 by 17 little bullshit maps, and the muddy 300 DPI counters. It's night and day, high quality, beautiful maps,
Yeah.
beautiful counters.
It's very clean, the map.
Yeah, yeah. I question the color choices. It's very pastelly. It's very hard to discern the light blue from the lighter blue, and
Mm.
the teal from the whatever color.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer you really need hard colors. When you start
Hard
getting into the
colors, right?
pastels,
Yeah.
it becomes a
Particularly if
problem.
you've got color blindness and stuff like that. It's a
Exactly.
consideration. For some reason, apparently someone said 13% of the population
Mhm.
have some form of color blindness across the spectrum of color blindnesses. And
Mhm.
then apparently the wargaming community is stricken with this thing. So who knows? knows. Anyway,
Well, I
sorry.
mean,
Carry on.
it comes down to, what we've already talked about already, and Greg had mentioned it as well. It sounds like he's really in need of a developer,
Yeah.
and you can tell just from, I mean, when we were talking about this off camera
Mm.
about all this the past week, it's just that's the first thing we all said is like, there's no development here, and this is stuff that a developer would notice. Like, these colors, they're too close together, they're hard to see on the table, and he doesn't like using Vassal. And if you don't like using Vassal, then you're missing out on a great tool right there
Well,
for
he
development.
won't use Vassal. He won't enable Vassal for his games. So,
Yeah,
so
I
for,
mean,
for, for me, if you take it from macro level down,
mhm,
I'm dropping $300 for 4 maps, 5 counter sheets, or maybe seven. It's one of the two. A little booklet of charts and 27 pages of rules. You're already, and let's set aside volume because he's printing with somebody different now, and so I can't. It's not literally the homebrew. It's kind of sort of homebrew,
yeah,
and if I'm going to pay $300 for a game, it needs to be, as you say, can be playable out of the box.
mhm,
And this game is not playable out of the box. It is a lot of work to get to the point where you might be able to play some version of what you think the game is supposed to be. And so the at that macro level, he's looking at this as a multi-module system. So we're
Yeah,
supposed to
like Death
believe
Ride.
that he's going to go from Voronezh to Stalingrad at 2,500 meters of hex, companies and battalions. Okay. So with that in mind, it's really aimed at con play only, multi-module, 5 guys, 10 guys aside, and have at it for 3 days or 4 days, and that's fabulous. 2 days to set up, 3 days to play, a day to pack up,
mhm,
and that's how they. And here's where I think the game falls in the big crevasse is that it's being developed at cons, and it's developed across the table while guys are rolling dice. I guarantee you that half of the shit that's in this game that doesn't need to be in this game is, dude, it'd be so cool if we had, right? And if we,
yeah.
you know what we should do? We should use that thing from Death Ride and have recovery of tanks every day. It'd be awesome. How are we going to do that? I
But the
know.
worst part about it is it's being developed, like you said, at cons across tables by people who know the system inside out.
And so these guys all have, oh, yeah, that rule looks good. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it doesn't.
What
And
this
so
game is, it's a classic car in a garage that's dirty and it's not been restored. There's something there that could be really good,
sure,
but you got to put in that work.
Yeah, and I'm, as I'm looking at Inflection Point, which is the VCS, the kind of version of this with a kind of cut down, more condensed area, it's already I can see that the movement rates and the cadence of the battle is completely different. I'm seeing guys get from where you are going to be set up, Gimpy, to the key Kirch bridges in the first day. Whereas I can tell you from where I'm set up, I probably won't get there just because of the weight of units and maybe it's the time scale. I don't know. And that's with 4 turns a game. And so that it makes me wonder, it makes me question the whole premise, right?
They're getting there in 4 turns?
No, in BCS they're getting there in 1 turn. First 1 or 2 activations. And their turns are 1 day, right? And so obviously, Armored Knights is 4-hour turns. So and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns a day. But even I'm on the 3rd turn now. And with the way the movement, combat is a function of movements, so it costs you half your movement points to do a deliberate attack using 100% of your combat factors. So you really can only move 4 movement points, right? Is what it is. Or you can do a hasty attack and pay 25% of your movement allowance.
Except it's going to be 50% under these conditions.
And use 75% of your combat value Oh, but don't forget, you do get a 50% bonus if you have combined battalions, and it just goes on and on down the fucking road from there. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. The week prior to me setting up this freaking thing, what, and keep in mind, I'm still playing, and I'm still interested, and I'd love to see it fixed. I would keep it, and I would potentially even play it again now that I've got some experience with it. But it bothers me that no one's going to listen, first of all. But anyway, so the week prior, I pulled, and Mark Herman's here, so I pulled Pacific War out, knowing that I was only going to get to play a handful of turns. I set up an operational scenario. I think they're called operational scenarios. I haven't touched that game in a year and a half, right? Was able to flick through the rules, go through sequence of play, find all the rules I needed, and play it 85% accurately, and record some video and play the game. And that is a 60-page rule book or something like that. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, huge mistake. Yeah. Well, we all learn the hard way. That's how I do it.
Well,
So,
I mean, let's be real. Like you said, you dropped 3 bills on it, so you're like, I'm going to try to get my money's worth out of this at least, and see if it's me
yeah,
or if it's the game.
yeah. Well, and I know it's not me because I
Yeah,
I consume, or I can and have consumed 20 or 30 new systems a year. I can do that, and I can sit down and grok a rule book. I read the rules before I bought it, right? Because I was extremely wary of it, because I played the earlier version and
and you
that was crap,
still bought it.
and that was crap. And I read, well, so when you read the rules, you can't see anything.
Sure. Yeah.
You can only go, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. Uh, but the thing that did it for me today was hedgehogs. There's a rule for hedgehogs. There's a rule for hedgehogs, and it says, you know, and if you want to build a level 1 hedgehog, an engineer or a combat unit can build one. Okay. They can only build 2 per company, 2 per division per day.
No, formation line.
Division, formation, whatever. Don't interrupt. And so it doesn't matter because no one here is ever going to play this game. So you go, oh, okay. When does it go down on the table? Well, I don't know. I don't know. So wait, right? So I was like,
I just realized you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was reading that earlier because you brought it
Yeah,
up.
it doesn't say when. It doesn't say when.
No, it
Flick
doesn't.
through the rules, couldn't find anything. I did. Yeah. And so I looked at the charts, found the engineering chart, all the rules and the information for how to build them and how long they take. You actually have to have 3 steps of infantry or an engineering unit, which counts for 2 steps. Go figure. So I've either got to have 2 engineers or a battalion. So, and they go on at the end of the day, and the units cannot move. That's also in this chart. So, I sent Chris a message on the Facebook
Oh,
page.
and they can't be built next to 2 other hedgehogs.
And they can't be. You can't just build a line of them. And so I was like, Chris, what the fuck? I mean, either put all the rules in the rule book and have the chart as the reference so I can just look at it and not have to look at the rule book, or at least say that there is a chart and give it a number, and on the chart have a number and have a rules reference. That's what I think.
So
he's not
wrong. Tim's saying it sounds more like a sandbox game, which is what I had said in our chat, saying it sounds more like a sandbox game, but a sandbox game where you can come up with your own rules. That is not worth it for $300. I'm
No,
You
sorry.
could not play. How big was the scenario you set up, Kev?
So it's 6 maps.
Oh, you set up the 6 map?
Well, yeah, but you fold in the ends of the, let's call it the 5th and 6th map. So it's 4. It ends up being net 4 maps. That's the biggest scenario. You don't use those maps, therefore they are for another module.
But
which is kind of
you could.
fun.
My point being, you could not play through a single turn in an entire day. Like if you just sat there and played that scenario from the moment you woke up to you went to bed, I don't think
A
you could
full
get through
day,
it.
no. A full day of turns. I can play a turn.
No, I mean just
In a,
one turn, like 0-4 to was it 0-8.
I mean, I can get a turn done in
The
a day. I
amount
mean,
of
it's
charts that you would have to roll through for every piece of
yeah, sure,
combat, the
sure,
amount of
sure.
think about how much time it takes because just doing a
Oh,
single combat action
it,
would take you like
it's
15
seven.
minutes to figure out all the
It's
modifiers.
well, well, you're a Marine, so you're a little slower. For me, it's only 7 minutes of combat. I actually time yes,
Did you
because
really?
yeah, I know I did because I keep the notes on the combat factors because it's 51 plus 6 plus 8 and then this number and that number, what's that? And then I've got the defensive numbers, and that's either 18 or 24, and then you've got to go through and get all your modifiers, all the DRMs. That's the other thing you mentioned. You've got to go to the DRM chart and look up all the DRMs for AT and flag and all this other nonsense, and then work out what your DRMs are for each, for the attacker and the defender. It's about 7 minutes. And so just you're using a calculator because it's 12 plus 17 plus 32 plus 24 plus 22.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to add that up, and then I'm going to divide that by 34. Well, I need a calculator to do what's on that. I'm sorry.
You cannot play this game without plexiglass, in my opinion, because you
Sure.
need it just to be able to take
Just to
notes of
write
what you're
notes.
doing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was what I was sitting there thinking. I'm like, Kev's lucky; he plays it with plexiglass. I can't do it. My camera will, flash up too much. And I'm like, what can I do to try to keep the numbers in my head? I'm gonna have to get out a bunch of dice, a bunch of D20s, get a separate notepad because there are instances where you're multiplying your combat factor by 75%, and then you're cutting it in half if there's under 6 steps, but then you're doubling it if it's an armored attack with no armor on the other side. And it's like all this back and forth, the like 75% of this, 50% of that, 25% of this, and you just get lost in the sauce. And we're not even talking about the modifiers.
Well, and then so you add up all the odds, and you go, oh, okay, it's 3-1, and it's the Germans. You're like, yay! I have a marginal chance of not losing too much this turn because the table is massively attritional, right? Both tables, and so you get this 3-1 thing, and then you roll that proficiency roll, and you get the little special event that says, oh, it sucks to be you. Halve all your armor factors. Fuck
Oh, and don't
off.
forget though, sometimes it's going to be 2 events, and sometimes you get to pick, and sometimes the other guy gets to pick. And there's blue events, and then there's red events.
I just laugh so hard because I just done this huge thing with all this armor, doubling and whatnot. It was 75% of it to start with. Good grief. Hey, Mark, did you see my post on X about Empire of the Sun? I'm killing it, bro. Well, my enemy is either suckering me or telling me that I'm going to win because I've got the American political will down to +2, and it's 1943 May August.
Yeah, but you know what though? Your Achilles heel is going to be in that game. Hedgehogs.
It's going to be hedgehogs. I got to watch out for that.
Or be like the show, Marines. A couple of Marines.
Well, the thing is when you have games like this, this goes. We've talked about these things before. These are like garage games, garage kits. What Garage Sims is doing, but the problem, and there's nothing wrong with that. Those are great. Meaning they're developed in house, literally in someone's house by just not going to a publisher's house. He does it all. But the problem is there's obviously no development, and there's no blind rules reading or blind testing going on. And like you said earlier, Kev, this is one of those games where they're being developed at a con by a bunch of people that already know the game. So if we all know a game and we're playing it all the time ourselves, we can say, oh yeah, we should add this, we should do this, we should do that. And then we know to just do it because we know the system outside of the rule book. But they're not putting all of it into a rule book because they don't have a developer that's tying it all together, tightening it up and making it more digestible and easier to read. In 20 something pages of rules, you should be able to play this fairly straightforward.
He
But
should have
obviously
handed
not.
it to you're exactly right. He should have handed it to random Joe Schmo relative who's
Mhm.
never touched a game and just said, "Hey, it's 20 some pages rulebook. Just read it and tell me what you think of the game." And just that amount of feedback would have changed his mindset and
Yeah.
got him to get rid of all the abbreviations. Not
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
shorthand stuff, but you got to have a glossary at the beginning so people can
Yes.
go look it up.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Try to streamline some of it. Maybe even come up with a, hey, here's advanced rules and here's the basic rules. Maybe divide it up if you don't
Yep.
want to have all the
Yep.
extra damn
Yep.
charts.
Yeah.
I
That's a really good
hedgehog
point.
armored knights of the east.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, well, I tell you what. I tell you what, though. And when they're getting ranty about ranty, I'm probably it's a little late not to go ranty. The the thing that frustrates me is that there's an opportunity. And look, I'm not saying that design is easy by any means. I will never design a game or support one.
Mark's
So,
drinking, so he's in free fire zone mode.
oh, go man, let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Bring it.
You should bring him in and have him tell a story.
Yeah. But the I forget what I was going to say now. I think that there's obviously a lot of passion that goes into this, and that's one of the reasons why I was disappointed when I was at that con with you, Mo.
Yeah,
Like
and
tail
we
end
couldn't talk to
end
him.
of
Yeah.
COVID, right? And I had he was busy playtesting, funnily enough, and on Death Ride, and I said, like, hey, I just played for 3 or 4 days with 4 guys, and two of them are game designers. I'd love to give you our collective impressions and feedback and ask you some questions and whatever. And maybe we do an interview and promote your system. And he was like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Now, he never turned up, right? So that was disappointing to me. It's funny that obviously people pick this up. I must have mentioned it on the last time I was on the show or something, on your show. I don't know if I mentioned it on any of my videos, but people are now commenting on my videos saying, "Oh yeah, but you just don't like Chris because you didn't show up." I was like, it's not about not liking Chris. I love Chris, and I had very nice conversations about the Cobalt
Mhm.
floods. And he was very supportive and offered, prayers and support for my family and for my friends who were affected. Very supportive, and he's been very cordial in Facebook and helping. Right, so it's not about Chris. It's about the systems and the lack of. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the lack of professionalism in the development and design process, and it just needs some structure around it, and have someone, as you said, Mo, tighten things up,
Yeah.
be more specific. You know, is means is. All right, let's just
Yeah.
get it right. And I think it could be a great game. I don't know that it's. I'm certainly not obviously not buying any of the other modules. Although I did look at the Stalingrad one, it looks kind of interesting, but I can see the C account is there, so it's not for me. No maneuver. But anyway,
It's
Well, that's the thing.
everyone doesn't have the reach that we have. We can reach out to a designer and get an answer about
right.
a rule about for
Yeah.
the game. Everyone who's just out there playing these games, they're not going to have the same type of access, and they shouldn't require that level of access to be able to play
Right.
the game.
Right. And I'm the only guy asking questions on Facebook, by the way. So I don't know how many copies he's sold. And I feel bad. Some of them I knew the answer, but I wanted to see how he was going to answer it to see.
Yeah.
Because, like, for instance, there's this thing. There are those see the little red numbers on the little red alphas on the maps, Gimpy. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I think it's A through R or something like that on each map.
Oh, you mean the
it has-
map itself?
Yeah, on the actual map
Yeah,
itself.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I have
Do
no
you know
clue
what
what the
they're
hell
for?
that means.
Okay. So if you have to place something in a very specific location, you use that, and he has a code. It'll say E7, which is the map number.
Yeah.
The letter A, and then if it's 3, you're going from 1, 2, 3 around, and then it'll tell you how many hexes to go, and then if it's got to go another rotation. Okay, so that's not in the rules anywhere.
I was looking at the planes, right, for like the airports, because you're supposed to count hexes, but you use the air sectors, and I couldn't even
Right.
figure out his damn air sectors because one of them, the
Hold on a minute.
airport's supposed to be at like C4N or something. And I'm like, the map starts at D. Where the hell
Yeah,
are you
don't even
getting
get.
C?
Yeah, they're off map, right?
Is
So
that what
In
you're
fact,
anyway,
talking about? Those
I'm
map
sorry.
codes?
no, this is even no, this is different. This is if you so if you go look at the coach, if you look at the maps, and if you actually read the setup instructions, it's going to say, for instance, here, it'll say, oh, here we go. Uh, German core supply starts at south of hex E7D420. That's a go here, go left, go right, go 2 hexes, and then it's 1 hex down or whatever, right? That it's a code, and the only place it's in is in Death Ride, and it is now posted on Facebook for people because I asked someone to post it because it's not in the fucking rules. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying. He has this stuff that he understands, but it's not in the rule book, or it's impossible to find. It's like I was telling you earlier about the fatigue level for the aircraft. Unless you look at separate pages that you shouldn't technically need, you have no idea what he's trying to get
Yeah.
across. And feel free to tell me how I can put 0.5 of an aircraft on the board. Haven't figured that one out either. So
Well, the thing is if
it
he
gets
gets a
0.5
developer, or
P40s.
if he gets motivated enough to get a development team to work on this, then it could improve. But Mark had brought up about BGG being a good,
It's not
place
on
to ask
BGG.
questions.
I looked. It's
Well,
not
that's the
there.
thing. If you look at BGG and you just do an Armored Knights search, they've got Armored Knights North Africa Operation Crusaders. The number of votes is 4. For to vote on the game itself. Armored Knights Operation Gazelle 9. Armored Knights Guderian crosses the Desna 1941. That's 6 votes, and then you have Armored Knights North Africa Operation Venezia 2 votes. Armored Knights Guderian crosses the Meuse 3 votes. So there
that's
is
the
a
newest one.
very small number of people that are even
Yeah,
acknowledging this.
yeah, and I'm banned on BGG, so I can't post there. So
You've been a bad boy.
I have
I
been a bad boy.
God, I hate it because I really wanted to like this game. I can't tell you how much I wanted to like this game. I like the size, I like the depth, I like what he's going for, but he I don't know if he's married, but he needs a wife. He needs someone cleaning up after him.
Wow.
Wow.
See,
That,
look,
We're
that's the
talking
best
about getting
analogy.
development, and you're
What-
like,
what-
That's the
what do you
best
mean?
Hidden
analogy
below
I
the
can
belt.
give, right? He needs that secondary person who's keeping him on track instead of just
Yeah.
all the cool
Yeah.
wild ideas. It's like that video game Star Citizen, right? I don't know if you guys know that one. Been in developmental hell for something like 12 years now. The guy spent untold millions.
yeah.
But it's because he doesn't have a wife telling him, no, you got to publish now.
Well, the real war gamers don't play PC games, but they're whatever.
Excuse me, war games are on PC.
I know.
Good
I'm just
war games.
busting your balls. I'm busting your balls.
Look, I'm trying to learn a game called, and now I'm
Tiddlywinks.
shut up. I'm blanking on it. Let me minimize my screen and tell you. Shadow, that's it. Shadow Empire. It's by Slithering Games, and it's a very deep, complex 4X hex and counter strategy type war game on PC. And I'm having 10 times an easier time learning that game than I am learning, this. And this shouldn't be that hard. It's a 27-page rule book. It should be so streamlined. It should be so easy to get everything out. I don't even know that I've set the unit, that I've got the correct units on the map. And it's the smallest scenario.
Hey, I posted pictures for you, buddy. What else can I do
This is
for you?
not telling me anything.
I was just pointing to the units. That's all I was doing. Just trying to be.
But the funny thing is, like I said to both you guys, you two, I mean, obviously Ken bought it, and Nate was sent a copy. But I'm sorry, if I had bought it or I was sent a copy, I would have just been like, this is too much of a shit show for me. I'm gonna pack it back up and send it back to the publisher, or I'm going to sell it if I bought it. I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna bother with it. I don't have the time. I really don't. to
Well,
spend,
yeah.
trying to decipher that much. I mean, it's one thing to learn, have the time to learn. It's another when you're having to not only learn, but you're having to try to decipher it so you can try to learn it. That's
Well, you're
entirely
kind of
different.
fighting the system, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's more now it's kind of a pride thing. Like I want to work out how to play the game,
Yeah.
and then
Just so I don't want it anymore.
yeah, and then step away from it and go, okay, it is actually it's okay, but there's so many developmental problems with it that it's never going on the table again. So out it goes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
you
it
know,
is.
I mean, I'm 10 or 12 days into it, and it's been a lot of hours a day for some days, not every day. I'll say I'm probably 25 or 30 hours into it, and I really only had 4 turns, right?
Jeez.
And the rest of it is, just reading stuff, asking questions, checking, looking, trying to find answers. Because I didn't want to get on Facebook every 15 seconds asking questions. And he's at a con anyway, or was. So anyway,
That's like development time. 25, 30 hours into something and only getting through 4 turns. That's developing a game. That's like developing a
yeah,
game. You're
it's kind of like
testing it and trying to decipher the rules and then straighten the rules out and then move on. That's
right,
what
right,
that
right,
is.
right. Yeah,
You know.
rewriting sections of the rules so it
Yeah.
makes sense to yourself, right? Yeah, it is what it is. But I think part of it is we are kind of spoiled because look, GMT and Compass have been doing amazing stuff lately.
Mhm.
I had Simonich's, North Africa 41 out prior to Mark's Pacific War, and what a great game that I literally set it up, started playing. I think I looked at the rules twice because I played it once or twice already, and played it opposed. So it was super easy to step back into. You make a few errors here and there, but playing solo, so no one cares, right? So,
Yeah.
um, that that spoils you, and then you look at Last Blitzkrieg uh, by our buddy. Is it Dan?
Jeff.
Last Blitzkrieg, is it Dan? Is it Dan or
I don't know. Are you
what?
talking about decision games? Last Blitzkrieg?
No, I'm talking about Last Blitzkrieg from uh, the Last Blitzkrieg. No, the Last Gamble. What am I saying?
Oh,
Oh,
Last
that's
Gamble. Oh,
Bragg.
okay. Danny Parker. Yeah.
Danny, yeah, Danny
Mhm.
Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had a brain fart.
Last Gamble.
So,
I'm like, I heard Last Blitzkrieg. I'm like,
yeah, yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, MMP. Great,
I would
great
trade
rule
this
book
for the
there too.
last gamble in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
great rule
Well, I
book.
mean, it's that. See, now that's a game that has layers of complexity on it that will take time to learn and really grok in the head to where you can actually translate it to the tabletop and play through it. But the complexity makes sense and the rules make sense. It's just having to understand all the pieces, how they all
You're
flow
working
together.
out the nuance within the game
Exactly.
versus writing the rule book to work out whether you can or cannot do something based on what
Yes. Yeah.
it didn't say or
It's like,
did
oh, I'm
say.
going to move over here like this. Oh, I can't.
Right.
There's a good comparison, and it's thin red line games, right? Like Under an Eye of
Mhm.
Sky, the size of that. Now, the level of complexity of that game compared to this game is very similar level, right? And especially
Yep.
if you encounter size of the maps, everything. But that game is developed very, very well, right?
Yeah.
And everything does naturally flow. Like the air superiority sectors, it makes sense. It's there on the map. I can easily see it. I can easily understand it. I know how air power works in that game. I can't even tell you what planes are based where in this game. I have no idea. I can't read the codes. I have no idea what the
You don't even know how many you get.
no, I didn't. Not at first. Now
I
I
know.
know.
That's why I said that.
Well, no, I mean some of them. I mean, I still don't. Like I said earlier, I don't understand how you get point 0.5 of a plane. That part hasn't made sense to me. I guess you get a broken plane, maybe a
No,
bus.
you get one plane every two
We'll
turns.
chat offline. We'll chat offline.
But the point is, you can tell the level of a development that went into that versus this. And
Yeah.
Right.
I hate it because he does have something here. I think that he does have something when it comes to Death Ride and it comes to this series.
Right.
And it is something that is worth pursuing, but he's got to get someone behind him who's cleaning up the mess that's being made so it's a
Right.
fully finished product when it gets to the consumer. It can't be here at the review process where this is getting done.
No.
And it can't
And
be
he's got his team. He's got his team that works on these things like Kevin was saying at cons and stuff. That's great. Well, hopefully at least one of the people there has some sort of development understanding. They don't have to have necessarily a lot of experience, but they understand, okay, you know what, we need to put this in a way that people can understand it. So let's tighten up the rule book and make it more clear so people understand things, because there's a big difference. Just like, and Mark is here, he can attest to this, because he's designed so many games. It's one thing for a designer to create the game up here and to put it down on the table. It's another thing to convey it to the end user that's never played it before. And
Right.
that's where your developer comes in. You have good rules writer, and rules writing is its own art on its own. We've all talked about before, where you need to make things as clear and concise as possible without being overly wordy, like, Kev's favorite rule book, Aaron Armour, that's 150 pages, because it explains everything of, that could ever happen.
Well, don't forget
So,
his favorite game is still U-Boat.
yes, yeah, it's
But
definitely his number
I'll
one
tell you,
game.
if I had to actually play this game, I would probably throw out the rule book and I would just streamline it and just use the combat factors that are on the counters and just have the attacker combat results table, defender combat results table. I would ignore the whole proficiency aspect to it. Just use the raw numbers uh, and come up with something to use for aircraft on home rules. I would
Yeah,
massively streamline supply, because that is, I can't even begin to describe the supply situation. He's trying to
Yeah.
simulate it coming down from on high. No,
Kev put this into Chat GPT, didn't you, or into one of the AI apps?
and
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
it did not work.
Even
Not very
even the AI was confused.
The AI said this does it caused what's that thing, a paradox,
This does not compute.
yeah, and the AI ate
That's the
itself.
paradox.
Error, error.
Chat
Error.
GPT
Cannot
effectively
divide.
shot itself, man. It couldn't get
Cannot
around.
divide 1 by 0.
It blue screened.
Look, if you are a sadist who is willing to endure the pain to get to a juicy nugget, and it's a lot of pain, you'll find something you probably like here, especially if you like.
But is there a juicy nugget there?
There is something here. I think that he can get there, but it just needs a lot of polishing, right?
Yeah.
We're This isn't a game that's in like beta level of development. This is alpha level development, right? Beta is still playable. He's not to beta yet. This is alpha. It just
Really, that early? You think it's alpha level?
yeah. If it
I don't know about that, but yeah.
beta level, it's still
It's
functional.
playable, but there's still a lot of issues in beta. Alpha it's playable, but lots of issues. Beta is playable with issues,
That
and that's what they're trying to hunt them down.
that's where I'm coming back to, is it's like I said, the amount of man years of experience of gamers that you have coming at this who are just having too difficult a time for
Mm.
its supposed complexity. I mean, I've got over a decade of wargame experience, and I can't tell you where the air bases are. I couldn't say
They're on the map, I'll tell you that.
you could
Yeah, I can.
there.
They're not on the map. Okay.
You
so-
have to
They're on the table.
This is how it is. You have to have air sectors, but he talks about counting hexes. If it's 15 or more hexes, or it's 15 or under hexes, how am I supposed to know if it's 15 or more or 15 or less?
Wasn't that the thing where you can go like two of those grid squares?
It's sectors, but then there's a hex thing that's involved, and then there's a concept of an air zone, which is also not defined or spoken about in the rules either. And I think the air zone is the front you're currently playing on, but I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just an assumption made by me.
Yeah, there's just too much that is coming at from the understood category, but we don't understand it, or I don't understand it. Right?
So OST France,
Yeah.
Fango brought up. That just launched today from Flying Pig Games.
Yeah,
And let me check. I think that was already funded, was it not?
they blew it out 8 minutes, I think. So
Wow, awesome. Good for
yeah,
them.
yeah, really good. Yeah, it's kind of rich price. If you want everything, it's going to be $150, and I'm not
And
because
that's
I'm in the whole
too
300
much for
already.
me.
Or something else.
Yeah, it's wow, holy crap. 62K.
Good for him.
It's currently at 62K with 20 days to go. So that's awesome.
I mean,
Glad
it's
for
good
them.
components. It seems like it's a good game system, but
I like
No,
it.
OST is a great system. We've already talked about that. We all enjoy that. But France is just not a theater I'm interested in. I mean, personally, it's just not one that grabs me.
Yeah, it's
So
because it's full of French people. It's the worst part about it.
yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just not one that I was keen on. And Kay's asking, hey, did we already discuss Ardwolf's Case Blue giveaway last night? Kev should have joined so he could have got his money's worth. But Kev's already got a copy of that, so we don't have to worry about that.
No,
No,
he sold it.
But he sold it, but he already had a copy.
Yeah, I had a copy. Played it to death. I'm good.
that's the one thing I kind of kick myself about now, because I did end up selling my copy of Under an Iron Sky, and I'm like, I kind of wish I hadn't done that.
I will be selling Under an Iron Sky first echelon soon, just like I will be less than 60 miles, because I have the latest less than 60 miles, and I'm waiting on the one for the fourth echelon of
Yep.
US.
He sent it Nordic because I had covered some of his other games, did well with it, so he sent this one.
Sea Power State also went to Kickstarter today.
Yeah, this Compass,
And
right?
yes, and there was one that our buddy Wolfgang was talking about. He sent me an email about it, and I was away on vacation, and I hadn't had a really.
Are you
had a
talking
chance
about the
to-
expansion for Salt Sicily 43?
What's that?
You Wolfgang? Like,
Yeah. He was talking about the thing that they're discussing now, and he has it on BGG. If anyone is interested in responding to it, he's talking about adding small numbers to the maps instead of having to do
yeah,
clean
he
maps. He's talking
emailed
about
me about that. Yeah,
because they're going to be adding new terrain features,
I
and he
told
was
him
wondering
not to.
if it would be okay to have. Well, I mean, if you read what he's saying, he's still keeping the information pretty minimal on the map, so
Think about it.
it
Take a
makes
step
sense.
back from, because you're looking at it from the
Mhm.
individual hex, maybe the
Yeah.
couple hexes that he showed in that picture. But if
Mhm.
you step back and you think about that spread across
The whole
the
map.
map, now you got lines and lines and lines of these little
It won't be
squares.
lines and lines. It'll only be on certain terrain features, I believe. At least that's what I've got on it. You know,
The terrain
I'm
effects
going to
chart.
talk to him about it a little more.
The terrain effects chart already does a good enough job of
Mhm.
explaining all the information. The part that I told him to do was split the difference. I don't know if he'll listen to me, but instead of putting the terrain effects like the squares, right? Just have that arrow designating elevation, because that is missing.
Yeah, he's in there. He has that in there too. You know, that's one of the great things about guys like Wolfgang and Uva
Yeah.
from Sound of Drums. They definitely do take feedback and they listen to it. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to act on everybody's feedback, but they listen to it. They pull it all in, and then they make a decision based on the feedback. And if the feedback is like, you know, if they think one thing, I need to add this, but everybody says no, and here's why, with a valid explanation, then they'll be like, okay, yeah, then you guys have a good point. I won't do that.
Yeah,
Or, you
that
know
little
what?
arrow,
I still think we need it.
the little arrow at the top, it's
Mhm.
small enough to be out of the way, and it'll blend in, and it'll keep
Yes.
these hexes looking clean. And that's one of his strengths for his game right now. His game is very clean. The counters don't have a bunch of numbers on them. There's not
Yes.
a bunch of junk all over the map. It's just the map and the units, which is great. But
Mhm.
if you just have that little white arrow with the elevation and its symbol, that's going to blend in. It's not going to stand out. But if you
Yeah.
start adding a bunch of colored cubes, red, yellow, blue, green, that's going to stand out. And I think it'll detract from the clean look. Even if he doesn't put it in
Mhm.
clear hexes, there's still buildings and bushes and crops and roads and bridges
Sure.
and shit everywhere. It's still going to stand out. So even then, if you don't have it on all, you're going to have to screw
But I
that.
would definitely recommend to everybody who is familiar with the Assault series or interested in the Assault series, go over to the BGG page and look in and see what that question is that he's asking, and vote, because he does have a vote there, and give some reasoning behind it.
Ow.
Uh-oh, can't see it. There we go. Assault Sicily 43. Primsol Bridge. Nice.
Very, 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 very good.
Another
Excellent
another
expansion.
monster box. Have you guys heard of Great Marches of the American Revolution?
Mm-mm.
It's a new system. It's kind of built on the great campaigns of the American Civil War. Jacob Guernsey.
Really?
So I'm gonna have a chat with the guy, but I might see about getting him on the show. It's all the it's like 3 campaign games on the American Civil.
The American
The American
Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Now, the funny thing is, the ACW, not really interested. The AMRAV, totally interested in.
That's
So
funny that you jumped on that so quick. Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely check that out. What's
Yeah,
it
it looks
called
pretty.
again?
It's called Great Marches of the American Revolution.
Great Marches.
It's super early. I had a quick read of the rules. They're not too bad. It feels like GCHW, so it's not.
Hmm. I will definitely keep that on my radar.
Yeah. So well, and I might get into. I think he's prepared to share a vassal module with folks to test it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And we played it. Mike Berticelli says we plated. They plated it. Was it
Plated?
gold plated or
Silver?
silver plated? I know what you meant. I just had to bust your chops. But yeah, you're right. Sicily 43, a lot of fun. The Assault series is just a great little series. If you can get into that, it is, or you can get a copy or sit down and play with someone's copy. It is a lot of fun.
Plays well solitaire too.
Yes, it does.
I got some videos coming up showing the example play for from Assault Bridge. Book suggestion: Unlikely Allies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to go.
Nice.
Mo doesn't know how to read though.
What don't I not how to read?
Anything. Big dumb Marine.
I guess you can't either.
I never said I could. I like the colorful pictures.
Hmm.
Hey, I will say I am looking.
That's why you can't. That's why you're having so much trouble with this game. Air War.
Pictures.
Pocket
There
Air
are not enough
War.
pictures there.
Pocket Air War. This one just came in. It's from WBS Games, and it's kind of like how can I describe it? I mean, the airplanes are represented by counters, but it's got movement templates for it, so turns and shooting and forward movement, all the like. So it's kind of like you took a miniatures game and shrunk it down into a counters game. So you'll need
Is it solitaire?
Kind of like Assault.
Yeah, it's got solitaire rules for it and everything. And the wife loved it because for whatever reason it came with a tote bag. Yeah. So she called dibs on the tote bag. That became hers as soon as the box got opened. But that is going on the table as soon as the other one gets off. So I'm going to be filming that very quickly so I can get to something.
That's not true. I don't only read crayon. I like to chew on crayons when I'm reading rule books. They make for tasty snacks. But I can read English. And I can read rule books. Because Nordic said that I only read crayon. But yeah, the what's this?
Yeah. Ignore it. Wait till later.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, what just came up? Oh, ignore it.
Ignore it. Don't worry about it.
There we go. I'm gonna build a tank kit and paint crayon inside of it. There you go. I like it. Nice.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
great.
great.
Nice. But
Oh,
the,
you know what? You know what I did? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say I did play War Diary magazine's little mini version
Iwo
of
Jima?
Iwo Jima. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah, big thumbs up. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Super clean, easy. Gave you a vibe for tough choices. Had some Marines in it too, guys.
Yeah, I heard
I
there were a
didn't
couple
realize
guys
it
there.
was in War Diary. I hadn't opened my package yet. I saw you posted
Yeah.
the pictures of playing that game, and I was like, oh, you must have got it out of something.
No, it's in War Diary.
Yeah, and
It's in War Diary.
I finally got around to opening my package of War Diary and open it up, and I see that game, and I'm like, whoa, all right, happy little surprise.
Nice.
Yeah, it's literally, you know, you can sit down and play it, right? It's straightforward.
I mean, there's what 4 or 5 Marine counters and something like 10 Japanese counters, something like that. There's not much.
Yeah, there's not. It's a very low counter density game, but
Yeah,
that's the
20.
light version of the full
Yes.
version they're coming out with, which is going to be hex and counter. So this is a different point-to-point type system, but it's very easy to play. You can get it on a table, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It really Jose Neva did a really good job of distilling down Iwo Jima into a very streamlined, very fast to play solo game.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to trying that thing out later. And get a little table
Much
space.
better than the D-Day at Iwo Jima game. Oh, huge disappointment.
You know, I
All
got
the-
it. I've just
all
never
the-
played it.
Yeah, well, the thing is I got it too, and then waited like 2 or 3 years for the promised rulebook rewrite.
Did
they
that
were
never
doing,
come
and
out?
They never. Well, at that, I think they have come out since, but they didn't at that point. I said, "That's it. I'm just selling it. I'm not going to hold on to it any longer." If at some point they do 2 things for it: number 1, rewrite the rulebook; number 2, put the fire dots back on the map. Then I'll,
Oh, they took the fire dots off on that one?
yeah, the
That's
fire
right,
dots are
I
on a
forgot about
separate
that.
map. Yeah.
Oh,
and
for God's
I
sake.
tried to play it, and I was like, I'm not getting anywhere because I'm constantly looking. I'm holding the
Uh,
fire dot map in front of me, going,
How
this
could
is
you
too
play it
much. Screw it,
without the fire dots?
because they're on a separate map. They're not on the game map.
That's
He thought it cluttered up the map, I think, a little too much.
of
I get
all
his
the things
point.
to take off.
Yeah,
That's like taking off
in
the
that
hexes and
system, you
saying
need
yes.
those. Yeah, you need those on the map.
Yes.
Butterfield designed that system with those dots on there for a reason, and it kills the continuity as you're playing. You're just sitting there going, "Oh crap, where what hex am I?" It's just wasted time. To me, it was
It
a waste
wasn't a
of time.
clean
And they
map
did the same
anyway.
thing with
There was junk
what's
all
that?
over that map. You had
Yeah,
symbols and crap everywhere. The dots were what was making it bad. No,
it's like your little bull. It's like, oh, sorry, not bullshit. It's like that game that you really like, Ardennes, right? All the cards and colors all over the
enemy
map.
action Ardennes.
Yeah, distracting.
It's not distracting.
another Butterfield design, and I think John has kind of got that design thing down, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
So I'll trust him on that. I mean,
I can
whether
agree.
it's
I can agree to disagree.
He did
yeah, I
well
mean,
with
whether it's a
Karkov.
game for you or not is a different thing. But I mean, I think his intent, and then the fact that you get the 3 games in one box is pretty awesome. You get German solo, Soviet
Amazing
solo.
value for money.
Yeah, and then you get the 2
I
players.
mean, you enjoy it. You enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I mean, the chip hole system is, I get the meaning and the intent behind it. It's I'm just I have there's a couple things that immediately give me the heebie-jeebies when it comes to war games. Number one is no dice. I'm sorry, I just immediately go, what? What kind of heresy is this?
The chip hole is effectively a 20-sided, randomly changing die.
No, I understand that, but that just immediately creeps me out. That, and then of course, the one thing that I know a lot of people in the audience will probably be like, how the hell can you not like them? CDGs. I just do not like CDGs for the most part. There are some that I do like.
So
but
you don't like any of the coin series then?
No, I mean, I played the coin series. I played the heck out of
It's a CDG.
several of the coin games. It is
Sure.
a CDG, but
It's not a
it's
war game either. So
it's
War
different than
game
a
adjacent.
2-player CDG. Now the one that I did like, CDG I did like, was Brotherhood and Unity. That one just maybe
Right.
because it's 3-player, I don't know,
I don't think I
but
played that one.
it worked with me better than these others, because these others, it's like, you have to have the right cards, or you really want the right card at the right time to be able to do things. And the more you play the game, the more you know the deck, and the more you start going, oh, I really wish I had this card instead of this card. And that kind of takes me personally, it kind of takes me out of it.
right.
Um,
It's like Combat Commander. It's a
Oh,
card
God,
counting,
no, yeah, Combat
card
Commander was
counting, and dumping game. That's all you do.
yeah, that totally took me out entirely. It's like, you mean I can't order my guys to do anything? I gotta dump my hand? Fuck this. It was very frustrating. It was very frustrating. But at the
Mark
same,
said.
what's that?
Look at what Mark said.
Yeah.
Careful.
Did I ever say anything pro or con about EOTS?
That's one I
Right.
got to get at some point. I've never played that one. Always been meaning to. Pacific Theater.
If you like CDGs,
Once you get one of the little C3I magazine versions, because he has some smaller battles, and
yeah.
you learn the system, and if you like it, then
What was it? Code Orange?
there's a
War
bunch
Plan
of
Orange.
Something Bismarck, and
Oh
then there's the
yeah.
Burma
I
one,
remember that.
the Burma one, and something. The guy might know. So
No, I get
I
it.
will not be going to WBC. I don't think any of us are.
when is that? September?
I think it's the end of this month, or at the beginning of next month.
Yeah, I'm going to New Mexico, I think, and then after that, we're going to Portugal.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hey, wait a minute. Stuka Joe says it can't be played solo. What can't be played solo?
Everything can be played
CDGs?
solo.
CC.
No. If he's talking about CDGs, that's not true, because I know of a CDG solo system that somebody named Stuka Joe created.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that before I saw that video before I even got into war games,
Uh-huh.
because Stuka was one of the first people I was ever watching.
South Pacific. That's it.
You only started playing that recently? Good grief, such a big.
But the thing is, like, as much as I did not like Combat Commander. I tried Combat Commander Europe. Now I played it solitaire the first time just to get a feel for the system and how it worked. And it was like, okay, this is fine. I understand the system. Okay. It didn't bother me when I was playing
Right.
solitaire because I was like dumping hands and I was like, whatever.
Sure, sure, yeah.
But when you play it opposed and you're both doing that, it's like, okay, what's the point here? And then I tried Combat Commander Pacific, and we were just me and the other guy that were playing it. We're like, this is just we just keep dumping hands. What's the point? How come I can't order my guys? I understand the intent and the confusion and the friction that the cards are trying to introduce. It just didn't work for me.
I still don't get
And
what you mean by dump your hand. What, you dump the cards?
you
dump-
literally have to
to
dump
perform
your hand to get
actions?
new cards. Yeah, if
Just
you
dump
can't do
your
anything,
cards.
dump your hand.
Yeah, dump your cards, and then you
Yeah.
pick a new hand.
You pick new hand of cards to
I was
try to be
playing-
able to have cards.
I played in a tournament, face-to-face tournament at a con. I came second. I hated the game when I was playing, and I was like, oh, they said, oh, we need more people join. I was like, I'm sure, fine with it. Ended up
But
getting all the way through to
it's something about cards. It's like when I played what's the other one that everybody loves, and it's a gorgeous game too. The Japanese game. Um, oh crap, I can't think of it.
oh,
Totally
Sekigahara.
Sekigahara. I was having a brain fade on it. It's an absolutely gorgeous game on the table. I mean, the big blocks and the gorgeous map. Beautiful, beautiful game. It's a hand management game, and I was just like, as I was playing it the first time, I played it one time, and I was like. I won, and I was sitting there going, I'm not into it. I couldn't. It just took me right out of it. The cards took me right out of it. And I know there are other people that absolutely love cards and games. Now I like card assisted games. I like cards that can do things in games,
Sure.
but I don't want the card to be driven by the games.
Usually,
like
if I
if you
can,
have
I'll leave the cards out. Like if it's not needed, if they're
Well,
just like random.
some games you can't leave the cards out when it's a CDG. You can't do that
Well, yeah,
because you
with
can't.
those.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, so like in Empire of the Sun, right? You can't leave the cards out of that.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so interesting to me at the moment, I'm writing up my notes from Monday night. At the moment, actually, is that it's nuanced with the events tied to action points. Number one, and then number two, the way I don't know whether it was on purpose or not, or it just happened by accident, but the ability, the spacing of everything,
Mhm.
and the combat factors for everything really make you think very hard about what you should do or could do. And we had a circumstance last night where I ended up with 3 out of the 7 cards I had were reaction cards, which allowed me to stop the Americans from getting their 4 hexes that have to capture every turn to stay on cadence, their political will cadence. And I got this reaction, and I ended up sinking, you know, 2 battleships, CAs, and no, that's right, the CVL, a carrier, and some destroyer thing, or CA, and that happened because I was able to pull the right units from the right within range that I was hoping that this guy would try and do what I thought he might do. So
Yeah.
it all came together, but the cards came at the right time. So if I hadn't had those cards, there's really nothing I could have done to stop the guy.
Yeah.
What do you say about that? About geography?
Got lucky about geography drives a Pacific game as it's an air war game.
Yeah.
Yeah, range.
Well, if you put up the comments, you might want to leave them there longer than half a second so people can read them.
I was
The
leaving them
slow
on.
old people like us can read them.
Yeah.
Or me.
Can you read that one?
That's one of the big things about the Pacific. It is a big air war, so air war games, which is why Midway is so good. The video game that is in beta now.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about PC games.
I'm just saying, look,
We're going from CDGs to
people like PC games as well, and I'm
Yeah.
just putting it out there. That
Well,
Midway is
good,
really
good,
good.
good.
Now, this is true. I mean, Combat Commander is about chaos, and I, like I said, I understand what the design is and what the design intent is and what it's trying to do.
Yep.
It's just that for me, it doesn't work. Now, I know Combat Commander is an incredibly popular game for a lot of people. It's just, and that's fine. That's great that people love it because I mean that's why we have so many different games out there. No, I'm not saying that. What the heck are you doing?
Stabbing.
It's just that for me, it just didn't, it didn't click. I want to be able to, when I'm out there, I want to be able to command my troops and not having hands in my, cards in my hand. It's frustrates me that I can't move my guys. And if we're going to sit there and be static for, a couple turns, it's just, well, what's the point,
Well, it's just card counting, right? You look at the cards, and you've got X number. You haven't had any fire cards, right? So you've dumped your hand 3 or 4 times,
yeah, that they're coming up.
and you know they're coming up. So you keep dumping until you get them, and it's all percentages, right?
Yeah, isn't that
X
one of the
number of
games?
fire cards in the deck, right?
You got to have a card to be able to commit an attack. You can't just
Sure,
attack.
sure. Yeah,
Uh,
fire, move, assault.
GMT had a
Of
game.
course,
No, it wasn't GMP. GMT. It was Flying Pig. Had a tactical game that had that same concept.
the Vietnam
65 and 85.
Yes, that's it.
And I have both of those games. And the funny thing is, I find those less frustrating than Combat Commander.
Why?
No
They
dice.
still, yeah, they still suffer from that same thing for me, where I have a hesitance.
Right.
But I found them, they flowed a little better. I don't know why. Maybe I need to sit down with Combat Commander at some point and try it again, and then play 65 right after, 85 right after, and see what my initial feelings are after playing those together, and just see the comparison. Was it me or was it the game? Point Blank, that's another card game, but
Well, that's just a
that-
card game.
that's different. That's a little bit different,
Yeah.
because you're using cards instead of counters and things like that. So
But that
and the
game's
cards
just-
instead of the map.
Lock and load as the card game.
Yes. And then Mark says Combat Commander is one of the few games that can generate a tactical narrative you would read in a book. Well, I mean, I would say that many tactical games would do that.
Yeah.
Not just that. I mean, Lock and Load Tactical, OST, probably ASL for the ASL people. Ranger.
Oh,
combat.
Ranger, definitely, yeah.
You know what else? It probably generates the most interesting narrative would be, which we talked about the other day, Purple Haze.
Well, that's a
that's
narrative
not-
game. Of course, it's going
But
to generate a
that's
narrative.
that's why I'm saying it would generate a great narrative.
Okay, Dink, stop being mean. And also, wow, you and the long
Trench Raid.
Trench Raid, good
Yeah.
narrative too.
When is Trench Raid shipping? What the?
I don't know. I'm not sure, man. It should
Forget
be
Trench
shipping
Raid.
soon,
They
though.
need to get out British Tank Ace.
Of course, you've got it because you got that shit for free, right?
No, I don't have British Tank Ace.
No, I'm talking about Trench Raid.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
I didn't
we
feel
all
like
have
dying for you. You could
all
just
of
let
us
me
who have
know.
played
I'd
the
send
game
it to
Ranger
you.
know. Nate, do you have Ranger? Copy of Ranger?
Yeah. I think
So we've all played it and we all know it.
Ranger just remind me of land nav in the Marines, man.
Kind of, sort of.
Same
Yeah.
basic principle.
It
Yeah.
gets a little tedious when you got to climb over the log for the 72nd time, but it was fun. Right? I wrote three really cool stories. On that.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun because you can sit down and you can map out everything and think through your
Yeah.
movement and where you're going to have your security halts and how you're going to deploy your guys and where you're going to
Right.
cross over roads and
Right.
stuff like that. Or paths, I should say.
Yeah,
Road.
and then the funny thing is that when you actually get to the mission, it's over in like 4 seconds, and it's done.
Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of like real
Just
life.
demolish everybody, right?
Real life combat's like that. Long periods of boredom punctuated by intense periods of excitement.
Yeah, you just basically work your way to the point and then
Yeah.
have your mad minute.
I think Kai's saying that he may have been a ranger or played one in a movie or went to ranger school.
I mean, he could have been something. He could have been a Marine. But no,
And
join the Army. Chow. Oh, dude, we had a chow thief in boot camp, and that guy suffered for it. He stole. We were doing the Crucible, and he stole another recruit's MREs.
You thump for that shit.
Oh, see, he got caught though because every time we were stopping, you got like a couple of stripped down MREs. You had to make it last for like 4 days, and every time we would stop for a break, he was eating like a main pack or some crackers or something. Like, where the hell did he get all this food? And like, he's the one that stole it. So
Hmm.
for the rest of the time we were in boot camp, they put him on fire watch right there, smack dab in the middle of the night.
Nice.
Yeah, that is the worst watch because you go to it takes a little bit to fall asleep, and then you got to get up in like an hour, do your watch, and then you only get to sleep for about another hour before you got to get back up. So he suffered, and his name I won't say his name just in case, but his name rhymed with thief, so he got known as Thief from then on out, and that shit stuck.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to do. Now, I didn't do the Crucible. We didn't have the Crucible at that time. It was called a ITC,
What they
or
didn't.
I'm sorry, ICT, Individual Combat Training. So that's what it was before they changed it to
Crucible's been
the
around
Crucible.
like 80 years, Mom.
No, it's not been around 80 years.
It's been around.
I'm not that old.
It's been around a minute.
Did they? Because the reason why is because back in the day, one of the things that reminded me when you said Firewatch was they had the ICT monster. Did you hear anything like that? Okay, well, there's basically Firewatch is supposed to make sure when you're in ICT or Crucible, when you're sleeping at night in your shelter house, everyone's supposed to be in its lights out. You're supposed to be not, not supposed to be smoking and joking and everything else. Well, one of the drill instructors would go around and he would be trying to catch any recruits that were gaffing off, talking, laughing, joking, whatever in their shelter house and just tear their ass apart right then and there, just rip the shelter half down. And then you'd have to go back and make it in the pitch black night. And it was like you learn how to keep your mouth shut when you're out there for that.
Yeah.
There you go. One time at boot camp.
Dude, don't ever go through boot camp with a film crew following you. That's the worst thing. We had that making of the Marine crew following my brother and I because we were twins and it was right after 9/11. Drill
Really?
instructors, yeah, they were standing. The film crew's talking to us. Drill instructors are standing behind them, drawing their finger across their throat. As soon as the camera crew would leave, they'd quarter deck the shit out of us. They're like,
But the good thing is when you have cameras there, then you know that the drill instructors generally tend to not curse. They tend to be a little bit nicer.
cameras there
No,
for a
no.
5-minute interview. Then we got
Mhm.
quarter decked for an hour. They're like,
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
make you guys look good for the camera. You like to have reporters' big boobies, didn't you? You're gonna pay for that. You know how it is. Drill instructors got hate on you.
Well, that's all part of the fun, and gives you stories to tell later, and
Yep.
it builds character. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So, but like Hard Knocks only with crayons. So, aside from Armored Knights, what else are you going to be playing, Kev?
Right there, I've got an inflection point setting up.
Nice.
I've still got the monster in the background there,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got Under an Iron Sky just in front of the mask. I'm going to do the little Berlin scenario just to goof around with it, do a little promo stuff for him, just for the heck of it, because I haven't touched it in a long time. But I heard that they're 100%, well, not 100% because there's always that reserve supply, but he's sold out, both Europe and the US for that run.
He
That's
should really do
fantastic. I
bigger
always love to
runs.
hear that.
Yeah, talk to him about it.
I mean, every time he does a run, it sells out every single time. And I swear to God,
Yeah.
Noble Knight probably buys like 20% of those things to put them up for $800 a piece.
Yeah.
Friggin' ridiculous.
Well, I
prices
mean,
they charge.
I've even said to him that he should crowdfund it, and he's like, no, I don't want to do any Kickstarter or anything. Kickstarter, you can get any additional stuff that you want to add in. You can add that in as stretch goals, and then you can have everybody. You don't have to put any capital up. You can let other people put the capital up. He already knows the process. He knows how fast he can print it. Once the game is ready and he's ready to push the button, he could just do the Kickstarter for 20 days or something like that, get the money, and then print it and ship it out.
Yeah.
Kind of what he's doing now, but let other people put the capital up instead of him. So
That's what he should do.
Well, he wants to stay small, I think, and do reruns. Although I think that there's a limited market, right? What is it, $180 or something like that? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but come on. When I put that Under an Iron Sky up, I was getting messages instantly. And people like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I'll give you my firstborn." I mean, come on. When it's that hard to come across a game, there's obviously a demand for it.
Yeah.
Well, you go, I want your firstborn, but I got a guy I want to get taken care of, if you know what I mean.
Dude, I
And
had someone who he literally drove up to my house. I didn't realize he lived close enough. So he
mm,
came on by. I was selling off a bunch of games, needed the money a little quick, and it was great. He's like, "What all you got?" I'm like, "Come on in my garage. Welcome to Gimpy's garage." Wall of stuff. So he picked out a bunch of stuff. That was the biggest thing of the sale. Although I felt kind of bad because he brought his toddler with him. So he had like a 3 or 4 year old little girl, and I let her go play with my kids. And evidently, he's strict about what his little girl eats, and my kids were just upstairs feeding her all their snacks.
that went over well.
Yeah, so I had to apologize to the guy. I'm like, look, y'all can't just give food to random kids, and all parents aren't the same. But yeah,
Did Kev fall asleep or is his camera just froze?
he's
Oh no, it was.
he's just old. You gotta let him take a nap every now and then.
Is anybody going to pick out that BCS magazine that Jeff's talking about?
Yep. I got
Did
it
you
on
already
already.
order it?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
BCS.
Gala. I mean, it's Sicily, man.
Mhm.
Or Italy or whatever it is. I think it's Gala. It's just.
Oh, look at that. C3I is shipping. Very nice.
That one's just too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it because I think it's gonna be the last one.
Maybe the
I don't
last
know what-
one, yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that thing. I don't know if the sun's gonna pick it up or not. It's not this. Who knows where that'll go in direction wise as well. I'm one of the. I've got the C3I Immortal thing, so I don't know if that means they're gonna charge my card or I need to email them to find out. So I gotta get in on that, make sure that miss.
Yeah, I had put that all in. I mean, I put my order in for that a couple months ago. I'm on the Immortals list too. So
Kitty. All right, I'm gonna let the cat out. I'll be right back.
there we go. Mark says he's going to be signing off. Have a great evening. All CNC's in the house. So he's got to go.
What is CNC?
Commander in Chief.
Ah,
The
the
wife.
wife. The ball and chain.
And cases thought GMT may grab it, but they got enough things to worry about. So I don't know. I'm sure that'll be talked about and looked at. I mean, I'm sure it's already been looked at and talked about. So we'll know more about that over the coming months. Either way, it's a long-standing magazine, and this may be its last one. And so if you have not placed your order, it's getting ready to ship. So definitely get your order in. And that way you can get it here pretty quick because it is almost the end of the month. And I got that as a little early birthday present for myself. So
It's not that the magazine's bad or anything. It's just for a little bit more, I can get a full-on game, or I can get some mechs.
and then Danny says everybody needs to buy that issue because it's got extra cards for I Napoleon, Queen of the Skies.
I never liked the idea of magazine games for updated.
I love
components.
magazine. I've always had an affinity for magazine games.
No, not the
A couple
games.
reasons.
The updating components through the magazine.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a better way to do it. Because then you're basically telling me I need to buy another product to fix your first.
Sure.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah.
Well, GMC changed that with they've got that update sheet they do every year.
That one counter sheet that they send out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then Nordic says he sold. Whoops, not that one. I sold on Napoleon, found it to be very boring. And
Who did that? Oh, no, he locked up.
Dude.
Was it me?
For a second, I thought he was messing with
Making
us.
it
I
over.
thought he was just sitting still there for a second. No,
no.
we lost you there for a sec.
Oh, okay, it might have just been an internet glitch. But the thing is when you have a game that is winning the Napoleonics, theater, not theater, but the genre, and it is basically just a flip and go card game. It's like,
We keep losing Mo. Do you guys have bad weather out there or something?
Oh, well, dude, we're 5 hours apart, so
Well, I mean, you're
no idea.
close enough,
That's weird.
relatively, like storm wise speaking. Mo, your connection's just going to shit, bud.
Hmm.
You keep lagging out on us.
Yeah, it just did it again.
And
In fact, your screen, you've got a white vertical line through your screen showing for me right now,
yeah, I don't see.
which may be a prompt for us to
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was doing. I was getting ready to wrap it up anyway.
wrap things up. Yeah.
So sorry for the network issues, but hopefully we'll get them squared away. But so Nate, what do you got coming up?
All right, couple things, guys. I got some more Assault Sicily 43 Premsel Bridge. I obviously had the full review of Armored Knights Case Blue coming up. Stay tuned. That one's going to be a zinger. And I got some Stalker, the board game, which actually was pretty good. A little follow up on that. I just put a review up. And if you are unlike Mr. Motown here and do like some PC war games,
I do like PE war games.
I may still have some free codes left. I just put it up the Slithering giveaway. There were 10 free games on that video. I don't know if all of them have been claimed yet. So pop over, watch that one, see if there's any codes left. If there are, you are free to redeem whatever is left.
Nice. Nice. Hey, Roy, joining us here. I did get your email. I'm going to get back to you on that question you had. So, with that said,
No
before
Case Blue giveaway.
no Case
Yeah.
Blue giveaway.
After we get done filming it, there might be.
But we but we did save you some money on a Case Blue game. So if you haven't watched, you need to watch earlier. Armored Knights is the game in question. And here we go, Shane. Everybody's saying good show for tonight.
Oh,
Glad
thanks,
you guys,
Shane. Good to see you, bud.
glad you guys stopped by and got to enjoy the show. And we will catch you on the next one. Hopefully, I can do this before my internet craps out again. I don't know why, but it's been acting up. But have a great night, everybody. We will see you next month.